Hey, what's up, you guys?
Hey, y'all.
It's Shekinah, aka Purpose Joy.
It's Allison, aka A Killer Ensemble.
And today we have none other than the amazing, the beautiful, the fantastic, the inspiring, the gifted, the talented. I go on and on. But the amazing Miss Christian B. Aaron. Hello. How are you?
Hello, ladies.
Tell people all about that.
I'm doing well. How are y'all doing?
Amazing.
Good, girl. Just good.
Good.
And Christian, if you don't mind, could you tell the people about you and like what you do, and just kind of give them a little rundown so they can understand all the sauce that is.
I don't know how much sauce, but I can tell them about myself. Good to be here, Shekinah and Allison. Just a little bit about myself. I'm originally from Alabama. I've been in DC for 11 years now. I came to Howard University and just never left.
Okay.
I know. Came to Howard and I love DC. I am a registered nurse. I worked in nursing for a couple years and I went to seminary. I've been a youth minister for 7 years. And to combine those two worlds of health and ministry, I founded my own business, Rise Enterprises, which is a holistic wellness brand through wellness coaching, creating sacred spaces for the mind, body, and spirit, and really having retreats and things that really feed our entire holistic selves. So 1 foot in the church, 1 foot out as an entrepreneur, and somehow, some way, God just brings it all together. And I'm super excited to be here today.
Yeah, I love it. Just a little background on Christian and I's relationship. Again, like she said, we've known each other for years, but another thing that's been amazing is she has really been very intricate when it comes to the development of what Purpose Joy is, who I am, my character development. All those things came from constant conversation and communication, really from her consistent mentorship. She's been one of those type of people who have just poured, been my accountability partner.
Come on.
Get me right. Been my inspiration for a lot of things. That's what I'm excited about being on here, because I can't wait for her to bring that same energy to this hopefully really beneficial conversation. If you haven't, please, we talking about planning, purpose, and accountability.
Yes.
2021, or I'm sorry, 2021. My bad. 2021 is that year of just planning your best self, getting to an accountable version of yourself, getting to a purpose-driven version of yourself. Purpose Joy is in the name. We're all about purpose. We're all about understanding that purpose is what cultivates true and authentic joy. So I'm super duper excited.
I'm here for all of it. All of it, because it's going to be good stuff today. We need all of the planning, all the details on how to execute and get it done.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Right. It's going down.
Okay, so boom, this is how we're gonna format this. You know, we always have our tips and tricks or whatever the case, but instead we're gonna make this more like a conversational piece, and allow Christian to kind of just share her knowledge, and we'll all just piggyback together. And like I said, hopefully this is something that could be beneficial for everyone. So here we go. Let's just jump right into it.
Let's just dive.
Do it.
Right. So first, Christian, what I wanted to ask you is, what is the importance of being intentional when it comes to us playing this year? I know a lot of us have like New Year's resolutions and goals and things like that, but what part does being intentional play in all of that?
Yeah. I think intentionality is so important. It is like your navigational guide. Intentionality aligns with your values. It aligns with your purpose. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of times people say, okay, it's March, it's April, and I haven't done my goals, or I'm at the end of the year, and it's like I've only crossed one thing out. But the thing that I always start with is, what is your overall vision? Right?
Yeah.
So are you having these vision board parties where it's more party than vision? Have you prayed about this thing? Have you, consulted with other people about this thing? And so I always stop people before you start writing down these goals, be intentional about your vision.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself? How do you want to wake up every day? How do you want to enter into the world? Where do you see yourself professionally? And then you say, okay, I understand the overall vision. Now, my first goal to get there is this. My next goal to get there is this. And so before you pull out your poster boards to get your magazines, what is your personal vision? What are your values? How do you want to show up emotionally? Where do you want to be financially? Set some concrete things in that vision, and then you get your goals from there.
Yeah. I mean, out the gate. That is so good. That is so good. I think we just you can out the gate, baby. What's your vision? Before we even try to goals and try to make what's the overall vision for your life, for your business, for your family, for your relationships? Child, let's start there. Let's start there. And then we can start taking extra steps to where you want to go.
Right. I think that was I think one of the biggest parts that stood out was the vision and the intentionality plus those visions together. I think sometimes we kind of just start picking stuff. You hit it on your head when you say these vision board parties that are more parties than vision board. And it's like, did you think about it first? Did you marinate before we and I think we can end up getting ourselves disappointed when we do these things that are just trivial without any real purpose attached to them. I think your New Year's resolutions can end up being New Year's disappointments when you're not focused on something that's supposed to make sense. It's like you're just grabbing at straws, putting stuff together, not acting right. Girl.
Right, because when you think about your vision and you think about being intentional, it's like the root in the ground, right?
Yeah,
the root is there. You may get picked at, you may get ran over, but you're still going to sprout as long as you can, water yourself. So you're not about the aesthetics, you're not about the quick fix. You're really about the journey, and the journey starts with a vision. And then you can be more intentional about the thing when you understand where you're trying to go. So I'm glad I resonated with you all because your vision is your driving force for your life.
Yeah. That's it.
That is so good. That is so good.
Okay, so our next point. Dear sweet Christian, and try not to snatch our wigs too quickly. Okay?
It's like, honey, he was getting close.
That's so immediately. Just, whoa, some of us. Okay. All right. So I know that we talked about intentionality, and we talked about that vision and things like that. So when you're talking about that and understanding that purpose about it, like how does that play a part in it? You kind of touched on this before, but if you could elaborate a little bit more, like what is your purpose supposed to be in that space? Like how does that play a part in the grand scheme of everything when it comes to purpose? And if you're somebody that doesn't know what that is, how do you even start to figure that part out?
Yeah. So One thing that I do is I think about the entire thing as it relates to purpose before the new year even began. Because what I realize is your purpose is sometimes seasonal. So I was watching this video with Pastor Mike Todd, and he's like, you're coming into the new year and you're holding on to this vision and this purpose that God gave you in 1886. Honey, it's 2021 now. Right? So, your purpose is evolving, for you to kind of, you were in school, you got your master's now. So now your purpose has now shifted. And so that's where, taking out that time to really evaluate. For me, I evaluate my purpose every quarter because of it. So once upon a time, I was in nursing and the Lord said, it's time for you to get out of nursing and I need you to get back into the church. I need you to work. And so because I'm in constant communication, I can know where my purpose is. So one thing that I encourage people to make it a bit more tangible is, what do you do during your intentional time? For me, it's the morning routine. That's when I'm like, God, are we still doing this plan right here? Are we shifting? Is my audience shifting? Do I need to start something that I haven't done just yet? So I'm very, very intentional with my time and how I wake up so that I can hear what my purpose is. And for clarity, if you feel like you're being drifted in a direction and you're overwhelmed, you're fearful, you don't know where to go, where to start, Google someone who's in that purpose, talk to someone, DM somebody, right? Because people, especially now, they want to help. And so if you have, like, if I reach out to someone, I already know the 3 questions I want to ask them. I'm not, hey, can we talk? I'm like, hey, I have a question on this, that. I'm very intentional with my time and their time. So just make sure you're carving out time, that quiet time, that slow down, that time, that, recenter time, so that you can really think about, where am I trying to go? What is my purpose? And if you're confused, you got to slow down before you speed up.
That's good.
That's amazing.
That is so good.
And I wanted to ask this, because this isn't on the thing, but I felt like I kind of feel like the energy is directing there. What about people who? Because what resonated with me was when you said you had a vision from like 1986, and you're in 2020, you're still holding on to the same thing. What would you say to a person who is afraid to make that shift? I think making that shift is terrifying, especially for you, like your example of nursing school, and just like knowing that, okay, you need to step away from this and go do something else. That can't possibly be easy. So like, what advice would you give that person? Or like, how did you develop that confidence to know that you are bigger than that one position, that you can go and make that transition somewhere else?
Right. Yes. So, I feel like my entire adulthood has been a faith walk. And, it's been a faith walk, like, Lord, what is going on? But one thing that I realized is that it's not about me, right?
Yeah.
And so my yes.
No, that's good. That's good.
No, it's not about me. My yes is tied to the yes of others. So it's not an act of, when you're answering your purpose, it's not an act of, okay, is this negotiable? It is not negotiable. It is non-negotiable. And you have to rise to the occasion. So it may be fearful, as you said, Shekinah, it may be fearful, your knees may be buckling, but I live by a quote by Marie Forleo, and she says, win or learn, never lose. So if I start this new adventure, if I start this new chapter, and I'm afraid and I'm lost and I'm confused, the worst thing that can happen to me is that I learned. I didn't lose. So as you embark upon your purpose, you have to have faith. You have to know that it's for a greater cause other than just you. It's for that next generation. And then if it doesn't work out, how can you learn from it and apply it to your current season or your next season? No lost battles is, just because it's always something that you can learn from.
I love it.
I love it. I love it. I think what stuck out for me, what you just said, win or learn, never lose. So you're always gonna learn a lesson. Like, look for the lesson in whatever season you're in or whatever path you're on, because you can use it for yourself or you can use it for others coming behind you. So like, it's a lesson in a misstep. It's a lesson in blessings. It's a lesson in everything, but you got to be intentional about looking for them too.
Yeah. One of the biggest things I think that you, when we first started having like our sessions, and this is a thing that I be telling everybody this one part. I be like, this Coach told me this. This is like one of those things. There's several of them, but this is one of the ones that I repeat often. But it's so that everyone, it's all about your story when you're building a brand, when you're building a person, and things like it's all about your story. And I think when you said that it's about the people that are attached to you, it's about the other people that see this process. Like people have been watching, people have been seeing this process, and you never know who is being encouraged by your process and things like that's why it's so important when those transitions come. Like you said, your whole entire adult life has been a challenge of faith, and I'm sure people have watched that challenge. You see what I'm saying? And I'm sure it's encouraged and help people grow and things like that. And I think that alone in itself is purpose enough, you know?
Yeah. And you talk about your story. And I think that also can help people speak to their fear, because sometimes it's like, well, someone else is already doing this, or this has already been done, or I'm too old, or I'm too this, I'm too that, where no one else has your story, right? And so whether you're starting at 4 or whether you're starting at 4 or 40, no one else has your story. So the fact that you're showing up with your story makes it already a game changer, makes it already different, So yeah, and that's one thing that you all do in your segments. You're telling stories, you're telling your personal experiences, and that's why people gravitate towards it. It's so authentic.
I love it. It's a quote that was like, nobody is you, and that's your superpower.
Yeah.
And I love that. Yeah. Like, you are your own secret sauce.
Yeah.
I can't be Shekinah, Shekinah can't be me. We are our own individual, and that is gonna
propel us forward.
Propel us forward in whatever lane we're in.
Yeah. I think people get way too preoccupied with the just like you said, the what this person is doing, what that person is doing. And social media is killing us with that right now. Like I did all this, and it's on the 3rd of January. Calm down. It's awesome. Right.
Good for you.
Fantastic. I think the whole being focused on your own space, staying in your own lane, and appreciating that process, appreciating, like you said, your story makes all the difference. Yeah. Even getting into the place of gratitude. I know we're going off on a rant. I can't mention your story. Mentioning gratitude, because it's like it keeps you. Having a space of gratitude keeps you from looking at the next person. Having no appreciation for your own story and where you've been keeps you in that space of just understanding it and tunnel vision.
Yes.
And I think sometimes we might get a little preoccupied with that, like not being thankful for where we're at, too busy looking at the next person and what they're doing, not doing, so we can't keep focused on what we've done ourselves,
Oh, 100%. 100%.
I completely agree with that. That's really good, because our eyes are going to continue to wander, but are you looking at your lane and your destination, or are you trying to occupied with someone else's lane? So I can relate to that. And that imposter syndrome is real as you're thinking about your goals and your purpose, and I'm trying to start this and I feel so time, but you just got to encourage yourself. You have to encourage yourself, and you have to set up routines to speak to your mind. You talked about positivity, and you talked about, you used the word gratitude. And that is not something that comes naturally for most people. You have to exercise that muscle of gratitude. You have to set up your environment and your space to where every single morning or every Friday or the first Saturday of the month, Self-Care Saturday, is your gratitude day. Because the more that you exercise that muscle, the stronger, it'll become. But it's intentionality once again, and it's discipline for sure.
Yes.
That's good.
Oh, so great. I'm gonna watch this one like 6 times. I need to watch it every morning.
Good. Good.
Okay. So interestingly enough, you just talked about creating that schedule, and you talked about having the time and exercising those muscles of gratitude. So to segue into that real smooth, how does accountability play a part in the purpose, in the planning aspect? I know we have there's a lot we can do with this conversation, so I'm gonna let you just take it and run. I'm just really curious to see how you would put into play, what is a person's charge of accountability when this happens? Like when you hear the word purpose, planning, accountability, what role does that play?
Yeah. So I wholeheartedly believe in accountability, and I believe in partnerships. So when we think of partners, we often think of romanticism, but business partners, prayer partners, purpose partners are so important. I can attest personally that it was only until I got a life coach and I got a business partner and I got a prayer partner and I got a financial partner where I did daily check-ins.
Yeah.
Monthly check-ins.
Yeah.
When I knew that I had to show up differently. I think that sometimes, you know, we shy away from accountability partners because we never know people's intentions. But when people show you that they're trustworthy, or when the Lord says, okay, you know, you can really open up to this person, then you just have to have vulnerability. Accountability is important because you're not going to get away with some things you will let yourself get away with. You don't want to be that person always showing up to a meeting, don't have your stuff together.
Right.
Don't have your goals in place. But then also, accountability partner is like a midwife. So a midwife is someone that helps someone pushes out their purpose, pushes out their purpose. And they say, you know, they don't, when someone tries to come in the room, they're like, you can't come in here. Or when you're tired from pushing, they're like, push, just 2 more pushes. You can do this. They motivate you like none other. And so if anything, you know, we are who we are because of our tribe. We are who we hang around with. We are who speaks life into us. And so I do believe that we were created to be in community with other people. The right person is important, but accountability is. So if you know you have a friend who's that finances, say, hey, can we have a financial check-in once a month where we go over what we spent this month? If you know someone who can pray to the heavens, hey, can we pray the walls down? You know, or slanging, that's what you need because, you know, it's about someone that is along the journey with you. Someone who cares, you know? And so I am a firm believer of an accountability partner. And I always tell people, if you know someone has a strong suit, reach out to them and say, hey, can we do this journey together? I really want to rise in this area. Can we do this? And I found that most people, there's actually a statistics, you are 65% higher to achieve a goal when you are working in connection with someone else.
That's amazing.
That is good.
Okay, there were so many things.
Right. I'm gonna let you go first.
Okay. So sad. Okay. So first of all, I want to touch on this part, especially amongst women, especially amongst unfortunately Black women, especially amongst just the way it looks sometimes. We want accountability partners. We need them, and we need people to be in partnership with. But there's this whole maybe trauma from situations where somebody has backstabbed you, or maybe negative situations where someone hurt your feelings or whatever the case. You get hurt and now you don't trust anybody or anything like that, or you get hurt and now you assume I'm too prideful to ask for that help from someone. I'm too prideful to partner with somebody and say, hey, you know, I see you're doing really well with this, or I see you built this business. I see you doing this. Like, how can I partner with you? Or like, we don't know how to get past like ourselves to get that help from the next person. So what would you say to those people who like been holding it down by themselves all day, every day?
Right. They doing it.
I can get it on my own. I got it. Right. They believe how this is supposed to work. But the reality is that that's not how we're meant. We're meant to have partners. We're meant to have people to help us grow. In general, iron sharpens iron is not just random. It means more. You know, so I just wanted to.
That is so good. Because listen, people out here don't always have the right intentions. And so one thing that I tell my coaching clients all the time, I say, you are a house. And the reason why we get so burned out, because we are putting people in the wrong places of the house. So for instance, you have people that can come up to your temple, come up to you, the house, this beautiful mansion, and only get to the front porch and wave hi and bye. You have people that can actually sit on the porch and drink a little tea with you and can kiki it up, and they own by their business. Then you have those people that you can open up the door and say, all right, you can come on into my living room. Let's get a little closer. I wanna see more about you. I wanna see what your character is like, what your value is like. And then you have those people who you've been around them, you know, you prayed about it, you get good vibes, good energy. All right, you can come to the kitchen. This is where we break bread. This is where I tell you something. that don't nobody else know. And then you have the bedroom intimacy, right? These are my fears. This is what I'm going through. This is what I'm struggling with. So my question is, before you invite everybody in, evaluate where do they belong in the house,
honey.
You know? And so that analogy right now, because but I had to go through that because I was like, I called my mom one day when I was in college and I was like, Mom, all my friends are gone. Like everyone is just backstabbing me. Like, I don't understand what's going on. And she taught me this analogy of the house. So right now I probably have one person in my kitchen, maybe two, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I got a whole lot of folks in the living room, but only a few people, you know, and because of that, I know mentally what they can handle and I know to put my heart up at.
Yeah.
That's good.
I love it.
That is good.
I love it. So another thing that I want to, just to add on to what you were saying, I've always heard or always been told to inspect a person like you know a person by their fruit. And always inspect a person by their fruit. Right. And I thought it was so interesting that you were able to compartmentalize this relationship. So it's super important. But then the way you figure that out is like paying attention to their fruit. Like I think some people are really eager sometimes to either develop relationships with people or super standoffish to certain people, but watch what their track record is. Sometimes you can kind of see even by how they treat their other friends, even by how they treat people that they care about or whatever the case, or what type of business they like, what you see what they're posting, all those type of things, you can kind of tell what type of business they're going to be bringing to you and what type of fruit they're going to be bringing to you to decide where they get to stay at in the house when they come to visit.
Correct. Yeah. And sometimes you just don't know. Like sometimes you let somebody in and you're like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. But you win and learn, you never lose. You win and learn and you never lose. And so sometimes you just gotta, partner on the fly or, go to lunch. And once you learn, I think Maya Angelou said, when someone shows you that truly are, believe them. And
I love it.
I love it. Sure. That is good. All my question is, we need partners. We need partnership and accountability. Mm-hmm. What characteristics are you looking for in a person that you need to make a partner or accountability or just partnership in general?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is consistency. Someone that you can be consistent with. So my partner, we just organically came together during COVID and we've been meeting every 2 weeks, I want to say since April. And it's not one of those, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to walk into the room and I have to shine. It's authentic. Like I've been struggling with this. This is where I'm trying to go. And we are moving. So showing up consistently, great. Of course, someone that you can trust because as entrepreneurs, innovators, creators, you always have ideas. And if you can't trust to get your ideas out of your head, to vocalize them, to strategize around them, then that is a sign that maybe this person is in the right thing. Because you can't tell your business to everybody, but someone who's if you give them the title of an accountability partner, that means that you can be vulnerable and you can be transparent, okay? And then the last thing is, and I'm learning this, is to have no fun. Right. Have no fun. I was on a call with this coach. He coaches people all throughout the world. And he said he wakes up every day with two things. He says to have fun and to serve the world. And during COVID, I learned, and my accountability partner, she can attest to this, that life is just so short. And if we're always so uptight, always on our goals, always checking things off, never having fun, what is that doing to our bodies? What is that doing to our spirits, our emotions? So, be consistent. You want someone who is trustworthy, and you also want someone who you can just really be transparent with. Now, I understand some partners are just super businessy and you can't go there, but make sure you have at least one person in your circle that you can really have some fun with and make some life memories with. It's so important.
I love it. I can't. I'm gonna say it the whole time because it's Christian.
I love y'all. Y'all are like so on one accord, always.
I swear, it's like this is the, I don't know, right, yeah. Anyway, so here we go. So, we talked about accountability, and we talked about purpose. Yes. So what I want to talk about now is what should we understand when our plans don't work out? When we planned it down to the T, had everything in order. We thought we meditated, we thought we prayed, we thought we sent it, talked to whoever we need to talk to. We thought everything was foolproof down to the wire, and all of a sudden,
oh my gosh, like this is so real. And if it I think 2020 made it even more real about like the pivot. So I love to read, and that's something that I encourage all people to do. Try to get through a book a month, or audiobook as well. But I was reading a book a year ago, and I was like frustrated, and I was trying to do this and do that, and all these speaking engagements were getting canceled. And the quote that I live by, and to answer this question, it says to be stubborn about the vision and be flexible with the plan. Be stubborn about the vision and be flexible with the plan. So in life, things happen. But when you are stubborn about, once again, where you're trying to go, I don't care if a tornado come, a tsunami come, once you get your house back together, you're trying to go back on that track. So I just encourage people, once again, what is your vision? That's when you can go to plan A, plan B, plan C. But if you don't know what your vision is, you don't have nothing to pull from. You don't have nothing to draw from. So definitely, flexibility is, and being able to pivot gracefully is important, because I think sometimes we slow ourselves up from our potential because we have these pity parties. I'm down for a day or two, even if you got to extend it for a week, or but there comes a time, and listen, I probably had to do it just last month. There comes a time when you say, all right, I got knocked down. I had a rough few days. I wasn't looking cute around the house. But today, I'm not doing something about this. Today, I'm going to do something about this, because I have places to go, but more importantly, I have lives to touch. It's not about you. It's not about you. So that vision piece is something that is foundational for me.
I love it. I love it.
It's not about you.
It's not.
Okay, so what do you have to say? And we have like 2 left, and it makes me really sad. I always get really sad when we get to the end.
No.
I'm disappointed and bothered and over it. So what do you have to say about giving ourselves grace in our process?
Yes.
Oh my, grace is so important. I'm actually preaching on Grace Sunday, so ironic. Tomorrow. But one thing that I learned about grace is self-care.
Yeah.
Grace is self-care. And the thing is, God grants us grace every day. And so we have to give grace to ourselves. There was a point in during COVID where I was just so fixated on what I wasn't accomplishing and what I wasn't doing. To others, they're like, girl, you crushing it. But I'm like, but you don't know the goals. You don't know where I was trying to go, y'all. But I had to give myself grace. And so the reason why I think grace is so important is because grace allows you to emit positivity over yourself. I'm a fanatic about the brain. So when you're stressed, when you are, disappointed, it releases endorphins in your body, cortisol, epinephrine, and adrenaline, and it allows your body to react accordingly, right? So now you're dragging out your day. Now you don't have energy. Now you care less about your to-do list. But when you give yourself grace, when you give yourself compassion, when you speak life, when you do affirmations, that also releases good chemicals. So you have to wake up and say, all right, which one am I going to choose today? Because both of them have a reaction to your body. Both of them have a reaction to your goals, accomplishments. Which one am I going to choose today? I have a choice. I choose grace. I choose affirmation. I choose positivity. I choose to pivot. Or you can choose to just give up. You can choose to stay where you are. You can choose to say, I'm a failure. And so once again, what is your environment like? What, are you walking around? I listen to my music in the morning. I'm reading my books in the morning. I'm journaling in the morning. I'm saying self prayers in the morning. That is what I'm doing to make sure my environment, my grace, my energy is where it needs to be. So someone who's watching, you probably, failed at something. You probably had to start something over. But my thing is, get back up. Don't stay there. Give yourself grace and know that you will continue to win or learn. You will not lose. I always go back to that.
Win or lose. You will not. You said win or learn.
There you go.
Win or learn. Will not.
I love it. I love it. Okay. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Steve.
No, you're not.
I love how you use your morning to get your energy right, to pour into you, to do your devotional, your journaling, and just take that time for yourself and then affirmation so you can go out in the world and do what you need to do. And your cup is full so you can pour into other people. You can accomplish your goals. You can attack your to-do list. You can help people along the way. But you started in the morning, your quiet time, doing what you need to do so you can effectively crush it. It's like, I'm a boss up, I'm a secret. Which one am I going to be? So I love it. Like,
yes.
I'm here for all of it.
The whole shaboodle, period. Big dot.
Yeah.
So, so I think you kind of covered this part. But you did kind of, and I think it was when you spoke on the vision and the plan. Like, don't be married to the plan, be married to the vision. And like sometimes the plan may switch up and things like that. But I just wanted to kind of reiterate, like, how can we understand more so, like, not being so tied to the end results? Like, again, you were saying how, you kind of gave yourself grace over 2020 because it was all these things that you wanted to accomplish, but that didn't happen. So, like, as people are kind of preparing, they're planning, they're getting ready, they're developing their goals and things like that. They marinated on the vision, they followed instructions, they got their steps in their mind and things like that. How can you encourage people to not be so married to the results and not be so married to the way they want to see it happen? How can you encourage them?
Yeah, that's really, really good. And what I've been telling people is that it's not more so about the vision, like what you like, not the vision. It's not so much about the goal. Oftentimes, it's how people will feel once that thing is accomplished. So, for instance, a lot of people say, "Oh my gosh, I want to make 6 figures, so I want to make 7 figures." But really, what they're wanting to do is impact. Or they may say, I want to, run an empire, and I want to, have this huge business where everyone knows my name. But what they really want to see is satisfaction or gratification. So what I tell people, what are the emotions you want to achieve? Because I know a lot of unhappy millionaires. I know a lot of unhappy people who got the degrees and got the cars, but what they were chasing was happiness. Well, happiness is doing things. So what I always tell people, even if you don't accomplish this goal, or even if you don't scratch this off of your to-do list, what is the emotion you are going after? What is the feeling you are going after? And then you will discover, wow, I don't have to have 6 figures to be happy. I can be happy by going on walks in the park every Saturday. Wow, I didn't have to work myself in the ground with my business or with my position to feel successful. I feel successful when I go and I serve at the soup kitchen every Saturday. And so I tell people always when you're goal setting, when you are trying to, set the tone for your year, always tie it into those emotions because emotions is oftentimes what motivate us. But think about it, ladies, when you have a bad day, when someone rub you the wrong way, it just destroys emotion. Emotions. So what I always tell people, you can have a list of goals, but always try to tie it in with some type of emotional connection because that also allows flexibility for you to shift and pivot your goals when needed.
I love it.
That is good.
I love it. Okay.
That is good.
Well, we've come to the end of the road, and I can't let go. I don't know the rest of the words, but anyway, I do want to again thank you so much, Christian.
Yes,
this was
amazing.
Being girl, for everything. I was like, oh my gosh, I give up your hand. I really, really appreciate you, all of the gems and all of the, I'm sure, very valuable information that someone is gonna. It has to listen. Somebody, if they know something wrong, right? Somebody's gonna benefit from this conversation.
At least one gem,
right? At least
you dropped a few.
It was a billion.
Yes.
A billion. No, it's so kind.
Is there anything else that you wanted to add, closing remarks, or anything like that? We can kind of just all. Whatever. Is there anything you wanted to share as a closing remark?
Yeah, I just want to encourage people, just continue to go after your goals. There is something uniquely placed inside of you that only you can do. And so just overcome your obstacles, overcome your doubt, and let this be the year that you show up for yourself like never before. And if you ever need accountability, DM me, call me, text me. You may not have my number, but DM me. And I'm an open book. I'm here to serve your community. I'm here to serve you. So I wish you blessings this year and all that you're setting out to do.
Love it. It's beautiful. And it's so sincere. You can feel it. This is there. Yes. So far away. But you can feel it in your heart. Is there anything you want to tell the people?
My heart is full. My heart is full. And I have notes. I got full today.
Yeah.
I'm ready to just take on the world.
Yeah. Look at you. That energy. You see that energy? You see what you be doing.
I want this to go longer. Why do you have to stop? It was too good.
Only thing I have to say for people, cultivate your purpose, man, so you can cultivate joy.
Right.
That's it. I think Christian, you've been an excellent example of what that looks like. I've watched you, even though we've known each other maybe 3 years, you're at a certain level when I first met you and things like that. But even just in the time that I've known you, I watch you do that. I watch you literally cultivate purpose. I watch you literally cultivate joy. Every time I see you, every time I talk to you, it's all joy, it's all love. And it's the type that you can feel because it's sincere. So that'd be my goal. Before we got on here, we started recording and stuff like that. Chris was like, you do anything? I'm like, no, bro, you go. I'm trying to get to you. You go.
No.
I appreciate everyone so much for coming in and things like that. We have some things coming forward this year. We got a lot of stuff up our sleeves. I'm super excited about 2021. It's about events and everything else. I don't think we've done live since we had our event. We had our reset meeting. It was amazing.
Yes.
It was very great. It was fantastic. And please be looking for more.
Yes.
That's a swoop. Until next time.
Right.
We'll see y'all later.
Bye.